What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Inside the 10. Joining me is the Navy football head coach, Mr. Brian Newberry. Coach, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Coach, this is your first head coaching position. And is there a certain privilege that comes with being the head coach of a program such as at the Naval Football Academy?
Yeah, an absolute honor and a privilege. This is a special place, a unique place, a different place that has a mission that's just is bigger than just football, obviously. So yeah, thrilled to have the opportunity. Like I said, just a great privilege and an honor of a lifetime. Really, I think this is one of the best coaching jobs in the country. I think we get some of the best and the brightest young men and women from all over the country here, and we've got special kids, and to be the head coach here is it's a tremendous responsibility, but it's one that I've fully embraced, and couldn't be more happy to be in this role.
You were elevated from defensive coordinator to head coach last December. Tell me about the jump in responsibility that comes between the different roles.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more that you have to be concerned about as the head coach,
I can
opposed to
imagine.
being the coordinator. Yeah, as the defense coordinator, you're really focused on one side of the football and making sure that's taken care of. We've got 175 or so on our roster, and so you're dealing with 85, 90 kids, and getting to know those guys
Yeah.
it's a lot of. So you really you dive into those guys, and you're kind of the head coach of your side of the ball, so to speak. And being the head coach is not something that I expected to happen when it did. And truthfully, being a head coach has never really been the end all be all for me. Never been the end goal. I really enjoy being defense coordinator, kind of being behind the scenes a little bit. But love the new role. It's very different. These first 2 days of spring football, I'm walking around, not sure what to do with myself. Part of the practice, practice seems to last a lot longer when you're the head coach, and you're walking around trying to see both sides of the football and managing a lot of things. And it's different. It's unique. You're looking at an entirely different perspective now in this chair, and something you certainly can't appreciate until you're sitting in the chair. But it's been really good. Really excited about the staff that I've been able to put together here, and the way our players have bought in to this point. And it was a lot at first, drinking out of a fire hose for a while. It's starting to slow down a little bit now, and I'm starting to enjoy it. And so it's been really good, been very positive.
You started your coaching career over 20 years ago now. What has the journey been like to your first head coaching gig?
Yeah, I've been all over the place. I had a lot of different jobs. I've coached at Division III, Division II, coached FCS football. I've worn a lot of different hats, and been involved in special teams, been involved in strength and conditioning, and recruiting, and I think that's helped prepare me for the role that I'm in now. I did a lot of different things and worked for some and with some really really good coaches that I've pulled from, and along the way you learn things from people that you want to emulate, and then you learn also kind of what you don't want to do when you're sitting in this chair. And so and I needed that experience along the way to be ready for this opportunity, and certainly benefited from a lot of different roles
Yeah.
and places that I've been.
So your first game as Navy head coach is going to be on the road in Ireland against Notre Dame. Massive rivalry game. I'm going to admit that I'm something of a diehard Notre Dame fan myself, so I'm not going to let that affect our conversation. But tell me about, how are you preparing for this occasion?
Yeah. Well, right now we're trying to work on ourselves. We're not really thinking about any opponents right now. We're like I said, we're 2 days into spring ball right now, and so we're just working to establish our brand, our style of football right now, the way we practice. We've got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and so we're breaking those guys in. Players are still getting used to us. Got several new coaches on our staff, and so we're just really we're installing our offense and our defense, working to get better at the core fundamentals and skill sets that we need to have to be successful, and really just focus on ourselves right now. Toward the end of spring ball, we'll start to shift a little bit, and also we're very familiar with Notre Dame and what they do, and they've got some new coaches as well. but we won't get us dialed in to them until fall camp. We're more about trying to be the best versions of ourselves right now, and that's probably about all we can handle at the moment.
So you're 2 days into spring ball. It's very much early stages. Is it just general preparation, or is there anything that you dial in early on?
Yeah, well, we get the foundation in of what we're doing on both sides of the football. Like I mentioned, we have a new offensive coordinator, and there's going to be some similarities in what we've done in the past. I mean, we're not going to get away from having the triple option element in our offense. It's going to be different. The communication is different. The language is different. You have a new offensive coordinator who's got a different take on the system, and we're going to be a little more creative in how we do things on this side of the football in certain ways. And so just working to get all that stuff in, get our base, our nuts and bolts installed, and then really focusing on what we call them our core skill sets. We have 4 core skill sets at each position group. The things that our coaches and I believe that we have to be really great at to be successful at those positions, and really pounding on those, and continuing to create our culture here, the way that we do things, and how we run the football, the physicality that we play with, the toughness that we play with, and the discipline execution piece of things. And so, like I said, 2 days in, we get 15 practices here in the spring, and so we're going to have to maximize each one of those practices, and we've got a long way to go. But really encouraged about our off season, how that went. A lot of momentum going into spring ball. Our kids are excited to be out there, and it's a fun, exciting time. But we got a lot of work to do.
I mean, I'm sure it's exciting for them to be back on the field with their team and practicing in pads again. Coach, the last time the Navy faced Notre Dame in Dublin, Notre Dame won that game with over a 40-point advantage. Does that add any extra motivation for this year's game?
No, it doesn't. Not for me. I couldn't even tell you what the score was. I think it was 2012, right?
Yeah.
No, we're just excited about the game and the opportunity, and you want to play the premier programs. You want to play the best teams in the country, and our kids get an opportunity to do that in an awesome venue, and first game of the year. And so it's going to be a big stage, and I think we're all super excited about the opportunity, and we're going to go be the best versions of ourselves, and hopefully that's good enough to have a chance to win that game.
So, obviously it's a historic rivalry between yourselves and Notre Dame, and Notre Dame currently has a 5-game winning streak. Is there anything in your mind that Navy can do as a program and as a team to snap that streak this year and do it in Dublin on the road?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things. It's there's going to be a talent gap. We know that, our players know that. We're okay with that. We're going to be an underdog. We're going to go in a game with a chip on our shoulders, with something to try to prove. And like I said earlier, we just got to go be the best version of ourselves. What we're doing offensively, defensively, on special teams, we're going to try to create an edge for our players, be unique and be different. And then, how are we going to make up and exceed that talent gap? To me, it's going to be with our intangibles. How hard we play, how tough we play, the discipline, execution piece. And we're going to have to play great, have a chance to win that game. We all know that around here, but I certainly feel like, I know our players do too, that we're going to have a chance to win that game, and we're going to go out there to do that.
What's your view on college football games, taking place outside of the States?
It's my first time doing it. I think it's awesome. I think it's exciting to travel and see a different part of the world. And I've never been out that way. I'm excited about that. I don't know how much time we're going to have to actually enjoy that part of it. But to play in a unique, different venue and in front of a crowd like that, and in a different country is awesome. What a great opportunity and experience for our players and our staff and our fans too.
So it's your first time visiting Ireland.
Yeah, sure is.
I'll have to give you a list of the best spots for Guinness in Dublin before you travel over.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to have one of those. Hopefully after the game, right?
So, there's a perception that being a cadet athlete is considerably more challenging than just simply a student athlete. Is there an accuracy to that?
I got to correct you. It's a midshipman, not a
Apologies,
cadet. But
apologies.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Some people take serious offense to that, but I understand. It is. It's difficult. This place is challenging if you don't play sports. And when you're
Yeah.
playing Division I college football and all that entails. That adds a lot to our players. We have a significant class schedule here that a lot of people don't have. Our kids are in class just about all day, and the load academically is tough here. We've got military responsibilities as well, and that's why these kids are so special. The things that they do and things that they deal with on a daily basis and handle on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I think makes us different and unique. But it certainly is a challenge. But most of our players handle it really well.
What goes into the selection for? I'm sure it's quite a stringent selection process for accepting a midshipman to the academy, particularly to the football program. I mean, can you tell me about the recruiting process, or what do you look for when you're scouting high school football players to come and play
Sure.
at the Naval Academy?
Well, we obviously find the players that athletically we think can play for us, and then outside of that, the next thing is are they academically admissible to the Naval Academy, which is as a difficult place to get into school. And because of that, we have to cast a really, really broad net in recruiting. So we recruit nationally. And it's a challenge to go out and find, number one, a young man that can play college football at this level. Number two, that's academically admissible. And number three, that's willing to take on that privilege and responsibility of serving their country when they're done playing. And so the volume of players that we have to recruit is very high. And you're looking for the intangible things that the young men are going to have to be successful here and to take on the load that we talked about.
Yeah, and you mentioned the service piece there. That's something that not a lot of people actually, recall or remember when thinking in the context of these football players. I mean, there is a commitment to serve in the armed forces, the services after graduation. I mean, that's a massive commitment on their behalf.
No question, and that's why I think these kids are so special to be willing to do that. And that's why it's such a unique opportunity to be a head coach at a place like this. As you coach young men, they're going to go out and serve and protect our country. And that's why it's such a great privilege and an honor, and also an honor to be able to help develop those young men, like the academy does, but be a part of that. And no, it's a privilege to be around these kids every day.
What are some of as a coach, the key lessons or the key things that you try to instill in your players throughout their college football careers?
Yeah, well, I think football in general is a really, in sports, but football in particular is a microcosm of life. I mean, all the ups and downs, all the peaks and the valleys, and how to handle adversity, how to overcome things, how to handle success, how to maximize who you are. And the lessons we're trying to teach our players are the same things that the academy is trying to instill in them. Our mission here is to develop young men of character and integrity and leadership, and that's what we're trying to do on a daily basis here.
You've been a coach for a long time now. What are some of the most important lessons you've learned as a coach and as a person, I guess, as a human being from college football and football in general?
Yeah, I think it's it's the same thing that our players learn from it. The great thing about sports and college football is there's not any other profession that has the highs and the lows that our profession has. How many jobs there are out there when you go to work and you have butterflies. You know what I mean? You have the excitement and the energy and the anxiety that you have in this profession, and so it's a lot of fun, and you never stop learning. And college football always evolves, and so there's a lot of things to take away from it. But I love what I do. I love being around young athletes and being able to develop those guys and the life lessons that you're able to help teach them. And here you get inspired by these young men every day, and you learn something from them as well.
Yeah, I have to ask before I let you go. The mascot of the Naval Academy is the ram. Where did that come from? I cannot figure that out for the life of me.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah, that's a great question that I should probably know the answer to, Jimmy, and I don't. I'm gonna have to defer that question to somebody else.
Yeah, I'll go to Wikipedia. No worries. I
Yeah.
just thought while I have you, I may as well ask you. But coach, look, thank you so much for your time. Even as a Notre Dame fan, I wish you all the luck in the world in August in Ireland. and indeed for your inaugural head coaching season. And I look forward to catching up with you when you're here in Dublin later on in the year.
Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you having me. Look forward to seeing you in August.
Take care, Coach. Thank you.
Take care.